Hello, this is the instructor's introduction video for the manual mode learning unit. This is a pretty, a little bit of a dense learning unit because you're basically learning how to use your camera on manual. If you're using a cell phone, I've tried to talk about a few things. You can still do some of these things with a cell phone. Just do the best you can. Always keep me posted with questions. So these are the main topics that I'll be talking about. And anytime you see these blue links, remember you can click on them and it takes you sometimes to a link within the Canvas shell, sometimes to a link where this one is talking about using natural light versus artificial light. And, it's just some basic information for you to read about. So oftentimes you'll see a lot of links that would take you to further information about ISO, photographic stops. Some of the links are the same, and then some of them are new information. I'm just trying to show you different ways to mix it up. You'll always have quick links with the homework requirements and deadlines, and so if you click on this link, it's going to keep you within the Canvas shell. And for this week, there's 2 discussion posts and 1 weekly quiz. And I try really hard to give as much information about the requirements. So we've got a video that's about 6 minutes, and it really does go through all of the requirements that I've posted here, and also gives you some information that will really help you to be successful with this project. And then I've also included a video that's about 10 minutes long and also a PDF for your reference, where I just talk about and show you lots of examples of previous students' work and give you, again, a little bit more information which will help you to be successful with this project. So feel free to, these are just quick links. We'll also talk about it, how you can discover that information by simply clicking through your module, almost like it's a book. And so that's what I've created here. You're going to want to read the text and watch any of the required videos. These are just links to the pages that I'm going to show you now with required videos, and a lot of the information in the weekly quiz will come from these videos and or some of the readings. So here's a link that would take you to an article about the shutter speed and just different ways to help you understand the significance of the exposure triangle and all the information that I'm trying to teach you about using manual mode, which takes a bit to get used to, and that's why I've included so much information to help you. The Aperture, same thing, great article, required 11-minute video. The ISO, which is a really important component of the exposure triangle, and also the 4 determinants of light, which I'll be talking about. 4 determinants of exposure. These are my 2 lectures that I made where I tried to break it up. I want to try to keep everything as short as possible so I don't drag things out, but it's hard, especially when I'm really passionate about all the information. So there's lecture part 1 and lecture part 2, also with PDFs for your references. And then there's a whole bunch of really key terms that I want you to know. This will help you throughout the semester. Actually, you can come back to it later on. Of course, these are all links. And these are pretty much the 15 terms that I really want you to understand by the end of the semester. And so this is an introduction to some really important information that I've kind of given you now, almost like your beginning of having a list of terms that you can reference throughout the semester. And like I said, there's 2 discussion posts. I kind of already went over this first discussion post where you'll be learning and using manual exposure. And there's also a homework assignment where I'm going to have you learn about bracketing. And learning about bracketing and using your manual exposure at the same time, they kind of coincide together. You'll have a lot of information by the end of this module. So this is a 12-minute video where I go over the homework requirements, and I've included the student examples in that video. But I also have a PDF of if you just want to review the student examples. Listening to me talk about the homework requirements, even though some of the videos are a little longer, will really give you a lot of information and probably answer any questions that you might have about a project. So when you are in this class, a module is set up. This is, like I said, a little heavier module, but there will almost always be 2 discussion posts and a weekly quiz. So if you have any questions about the homework, please feel free to let me know. And then with some of the learning units, I'll have this explore more. So here we've got a couple of additional helpful videos if you want to check them out. We also have that concept of digital photography workflow, which I think is really important. So I've included a couple of links and a video for you to check out. And then the camera simulator. And here to just, you don't have to, I'm not going to talk about it now because you can watch this video. It's about 8 minutes long, and I talk about these 2 different apps that are free. You can navigate them. You don't have to download them. They're just, actually links. They're not apps. I'm sorry. They feel a little bit like apps. And you might find an app out there that would also be really great for learning about exposure compensation and what we're covering, getting more familiar with manual mode. So check that out. So that's really, what the learning unit consists of. There will always be I have my instructor's introduction video that you're listening to now, all of the meat of the learning unit, the homework, and then of course the explore more. So thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.